Time now to sample Honda Canada's all-new big-bore V4 flagship sports touring machine, the VFR1200FA DCT. The VFR sports a totally new 1,237cc fuel-injected V4 that sports incredibly trick stuff like throttle-by-wire technology that also controls a valve-equipped muffler. There's also an incredibly seamless integrated shaft drive system out back, while those ferocious 6-piston calipers that make up part of the combined ABS braking system up front will cause your eyes to bulge under hard braking. Now, the VFR comes in two versions: the standard FA, which has your typical clutch lever and foot shifter setup, and the DCT, or dual clutch transmission version, which comes with 2 automatic modes and a manual mode with paddle-style shifters. Last year at a press launch in Savannah, Georgia, motorcycle journalists only had access to the standard FA model. But recently, a dual clutch version arrived at our offices, with guest tester Jeff Kay in the saddle. Well, this is it, the newest generation Honda's version of a Gentleman's Express. You picked it up recently from Honda. What did you think?
Well, the first thing that you walk up, I think it's a very beautiful bike. I mean, I know that there's controversy about, the shape and the 2-part fairing and all of that, but I think it's a really pretty bike to look at. But then when you walk up to it, you go, wait a minute, there's something going on here. And then you realize there's no clutch lever.
Right.
And there's no shifter lever.
Yeah.
And you go, holy cats, well, how's that going to work? So the first time you get on it and the first time you roll away, because it's an effortless experience, because you start, you just push the button, put it in drive, and off you go. It's easy. It's just really easy.
Well, let's talk about that V4 engine, because Honda says now they're going to be known for V4s. That's their signature engine. What did you think of that motor?
Again, I go back to the word effortless. I mean, you're on the highway, and no matter sort of what speed you're at, no matter what the revs are at, you grab a handful of throttle and it's there.
Right.
At 120K theoretically on the highway, you do a 3 count to grab a handful of throttle just to see what the acceleration's like, and inside of 3 seconds, a picture of Julian Fantino starts flashing on the digital screen. So yeah. It's very smooth. The torque is phenomenal. In that attitude, when you've got your toes sort of pointing down, and when you really roll on the power, you feel like you're on a rocket, because you can feel the pressure of the foot pegs on the bottom of your feet, and it's really tugging on the handlebar. Yeah. So it really goes.
Brakes? How'd you like the brakes?
Well, at highway speeds, big, I think there's 320 mils or something, big, huge discs, and it's really, literally, it's one finger. You're doing a highway speed, you gotta get stopped in a hurry, and it's again, I use the word effortless. It's just, you drop anchor. The ABS stuff, riding around today in the rain, I tried to lock up the back wheel, and it just doesn't lock up.
Right.
It's a loaner bike. I didn't try very hard to lock up the front wheel, but it's got the balance. You have the confidence in a gentle curve that if you have to take a little bit of speed off, you can kind of gently work the front brake, mm-hmm. and you don't get that kind of twitchy, terrifying feeling that something bad's going to happen. The other thing I like is if you go into manual mode, which you do very easily with just pop this lever here, then you're upshifting with your left index finger, downshifting with your left thumb.
Yeah.
And that is really seamless. I mean, if you you just like bing, 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 and it's beautiful shifting. I think it's the way of the future, to tell you the truth. I mean, I was thinking about this. You can make the argument that the electric start sort of took away the experience of the kickstart. Right?
Yep.
But
yep.
Do you mind?
No.
Right. So I mean, life goes on. The evolution continues, and I think particularly the shifting technology is just so good that I think there's really no turning back.
Gentleman's Express, you've got to have a good quality piece, good paint, good chrome, that sort of thing, fit and finish. What do you think of just the approach to this bike in terms of its paint and chrome?
I think it's gorgeous. I think the fit and finish is superb. I know this is controversial, but this 2-part thing with this sort of flange down here, I think it looks elegant. It actually does bring some warm air back on a cold day. The hard cases, nice, functional, turn the key, pop the lever, lots of room there. It looks, you know, it looks modern, but it doesn't look too extremely over-designed, you know.
Right.
So I mean, I think it hits the spot really nicely.
Who's going to buy it? Who do you recommend it to?
The weekend touring crowd, I think. You know, like it's a, you know, sport touring, but again on the side of sport bike. For the rides of, you know, under 4 hours on interesting roads, I think this is a beautiful bike for that.
Well, listen, we had some of that today. I'm sorry we had to put you through the car wash, but it was worth it. I really wanted to see what this bike would be like in the bad weather.
You know what? It was a pleasure to ride, and I don't mind the rain. I mean, it's a great bike in the rain too.
Good job, Jeff.
Okay, it was a pleasure.
Thanks.